Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, an uncle's affection for his niece.
You gave her this bear, this Valentine's card, and you gave your wife a mug.
Has his family suspicious.
Sometimes she sleeps in your bedroom, on a mattress, on the floor, and your wife's in another room.
I agree there's things that look bad.
But what else is coming out?
Let's talk about what needs to happen, okay?
I thought maybe we could talk about me being a horrible parent some more.
That has Mom challenging Dr. Phil.
You walk in these shoes, you'll know what it's like.
Well, lady, when you walk in these shoes, you'll see bull when you see it. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I'll try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Very much. Yesterday, I sat down with Bridget, who said she was worried that her brother-in-law, Kevin, might be having an inappropriate relationship with her 16-year-old daughter, Grace. Bridget said she started seeing red flags after she found an empty can of whipped cream hidden in her daughter's bedroom. Grace later told her mom that Kevin had put the whipped cream on his neck and asked her to lick it off. Although Bridget thought the whipped cream incident was inappropriate, she still questions whether something is going on between her 38-year-old brother-in-law and her teenage daughter. But Bridget's sister Tammy says she 100% believes that Kevin is molesting her niece, while Kevin's wife Carrie stands by in denial. This dispute has divided the entire family, with Carrie threatening to sue her sisters for slander if they continue to call Kevin a molester.
Kevin and Grace spent a lot of time in Grace's room with the door closed. I went into her room and found a hidden bottle of whipped cream, and then I found a letter from Kevin to Grace. It spoke of their relationship. She's getting older now, and she might even get a boyfriend. I won't be happy about it. I felt that something inappropriate had happened.
My mind does not want to accept that something bad can happen. When I found the whipped cream and then I found the letter, I was physically sick.
I love you with all of my heart. You will be dating, will eventually find a guy. I'd be lying if I said there wouldn't be a part of me that doesn't like it, though. I don't care that you are only 16.
He doesn't like when I date guys or talk to guys.
Grace wanted me to bring a bottle of whipped cream to the house because she wanted me to make sundaes.
He put it on his neck and asked her to lick it off.
That would have been enough evidence for me to go to the police.
What are you going to say to the police? I found a can of whipped cream?
I have one priority here, and I don't get the urgency on anybody's part about the safety of this child.
How is it okay for Kevin and Grace to be in her bedroom with the door shut, you not knowing about it? You told
all
him
the
to
time,
get
and I
his,
don't
you know
check in with Kevin.
Everything about this is so inappropriate.
I know how to move this thing along, so I think we can get to a productive place, and I would like to talk one-on-one, just you and I.
Okay.
Let me tell you what I know about this situation, just what I think I know about this situation. Okay. And you tell me if I'm reading the situation right.
Okay.
Grace lost her father to cancer about 1.5 years ago. And at that time, she really withdrew and hasn't been to school since, as a matter of fact. And you kind of stepped up and got her out of her cocoon and got her to go outside and took her to the mall and took her shopping and kind of got her to re-engage with society.
Yes.
And I think everybody was very grateful for you doing that. And I think that, to use your term, things kind of snowballed from there.
Correct.
Your wife works second shift.
Correct.
And so you're home nobody's around. Your son's 19. He's gone doing his thing. So there
Right.
you are. She's in need. You have the time.
Exactly.
You're a family member. You care. So you just kind of started investing time in her, which is
Exactly.
a very kind thing to do. And you say it kind of snowballed from there, and you guys developed a very close bond. And without sensitivity to how things appeared, I think unintentionally, I think you kind of ran some red lights along the way. Wouldn't you agree?
I absolutely agree, Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
100%.
And thank you for that. I think if you can acknowledge that, then
absolutely.
we're heading in the right direction.
Absolutely.
You ran some red lights there,
I did.
and you two got too close, and she got
Yes.
too reliant on you.
Absolutely.
And before you know it, you found yourself being too reliant on her. And so pretty soon, this just kind of becomes a give and take relationship, even though you're 38 and she's 16. And that's why when you wrote that letter, it didn't seem like an uncle to niece letter, because you were really more invested in the relationship than would ordinarily be the case.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when you look at the letter and you're saying things like, I love you with all my heart, the way I love you is unique, and I don't even know how to explain it, you were kind of confused about it as well.
I'm bad with words. It was poor wording. What I meant is like you said, you hate to say you have nieces and nephews, you hate to say one's a favorite, maybe you're closer to them. That's what I was trying to say. She has a special place in my heart from as close as we have gotten.
Yeah.
And plus, I also feel like I have that father figure role to her. So I didn't want to come right out either and say I love you like my own daughter, which that's part of what I meant by this. I also love her like a daughter and want to protect her. But at the same time, I don't want to try to take the place of her father or ever, want her to think that I'm doing that. So that's why probably another reason for some of the bad wording there, Dr. Phil.
Yeah, and that bad wording comes from your needs being met. When you say, it's understandable. You mean you're invested in her, and you don't say I love you like a daughter. You say you're my best friend, and you say I get something out of it when you send me hearts on your phone, and when you say I look nice. I mean, she's making you feel better about you. I mean, come on, you're 38.
Absolutely.
Here's this young, attractive girl, and she's telling you you look nice and that you make her feel good, and that's making you feel good. You're running red lights as fast as you can go. I mean, and you can't be confused that people on the outside are going, the creep meter is going.
Okay, gotcha.
Is pegging over here.
Okay.
And you say, I get a little over emotional sometimes. I said, I love you in my own special way. You say, I'm in as a friend and an uncle, but that isn't what you said.
Exactly.
And then you start adding things up, and you say, okay, we've got the whipped cream situation here.
Right, right.
Is that not really creepy?
Yeah, it absolutely.
Okay, and then
It
you
was
take
wrong.
things that you may say, you have no idea how innocent this is, but when you look at them,
Yes,
she spends the night at your house sometimes, right?
yes.
She sleeps in your bedroom with you sometimes, right?
My wife has...
And your wife doesn't.
Right.
Just hear me.
Okay,
Sometimes she sleeps in your bedroom with you without your wife, on a mattress,
Okay,
on the
yes.
floor, at the foot of the bed.
Yes.
You're in the bed. She's on a mattress, on the floor, at the foot of the bed, and your wife's in another room.
Correct.
Correct? That's
Yes.
the right architecture of this situation. Can I tell you how incredibly bad an idea that is?
As long as the way I looked at that is as long as my wife was comfortable. She knew nothing was going on between us. She was comfortable enough for us to do that. As long as she was okay with it, I didn't have an issue with it.
Okay, on the list of bad ideas of the week, that's up here at number 1. You gave her this bear.
I did.
This, right?
Yes.
Okay, then you gave her this Valentine's card, and you gave your wife a mug. And later, I cannot even begin to tell you how dysfunctional I think this situation is. Do you want to know what I think's going wrong here?
I thought maybe we could talk about me being a horrible parent some more.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Adam has trust issues with women.
Including the ones he's seeing while he's married to you?
She says her son-in-law is selfish
He buys things that he can't afford.
and violent.
Got an email from hotel security. Were you fighting in the room, yelling and screaming?
Well, not yelling. There's louder voices.
What happened that led to this?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You don't talk that way on my stage. Are we clear on that?
Then on Thursday, why would a woman who can see
I wanted to go blind permanently.
do the unthinkable?
She put liquid drain cleaner into her eyes.
That's Thursday.
Think about this. Whipped cream. Going to her house, into her room behind closed doors,
Right.
sending her a letter that says, I love you in ways I can't even describe. Here's how good you make me feel, and you tell me I look nice. Sleeping in your room with you when your wife's in another room. Would you like me to put you on the witness stand and cross-examine you in front of a jury? They would put your ass under the jail.
Okay.
Now,
Can I say one thing?
the truth is, I think it looks a whole lot worse than it is. But what I'm trying to impact upon you is how bad it looks.
I agree. And can we clarify also, though, can we clarify I am the one that I did bring all these things up. I was acknowledging that there are red flags. There are things that look weird. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm here. I'm an open book.
You've given her, like, gifts, like stuffed animals?
That was on Valentine's Day.
And a card for...
When
Okay, where are the stuffed animals? We have the stuffed animals. Okay, you gave her this bear.
I did.
Then you gave her this, right?
Yes.
Okay, then you gave her this Valentine's card.
Yes.
Right? And you gave your wife a mug.
We share Valentine's Day is not about gifts with my wife and I. The reason I did buy Grace these things, if you knew how upset she was at that time with her father passing, what I thought in my heart when I seen this for her is this little girl, her father probably would have bought her something for Valentine's Day.
If
She
we
had
were in
nobody
court
to-
and I was trying to convict him and you were a jury and would vote guilty, stand up.
Guilty of what? I mean, of inappropriate behavior or red flags, things that look weird? Well, at this point, I would like to know what you think.
Do you get my point and the audience's point that this looks really bad?
Yes, I agree. There's things that look bad. Absolutely.
You have run red lights. You've crossed boundaries with her. Personally, I don't think you've molested this girl.
Of course not.
I don't think that that's taken place.
No.
I think that that's a matter of timing.
I don't think of it like that.
I'll tell you why. Yeah. I think you could lose yourself in this relationship. You have incredibly bad judgment. Mm-hmm. And in your submission tape to me, you said, I don't know what I should do. Should I leave it up to my wife? I don't know what your wife says to you behind closed doors. I don't know. I know what she says when she's spinning it out here. But if she isn't standing on your chest and telling you, bucko, you better straighten your ass up and you better take a giant step back from this girl and get yourself under control, then she ought to be. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because I'm telling you that you're headed for peril here. I think the best thing that ever happened to you is happening to you right now. Okay. Because I'm trying to give you a sobering wake-up call before you do something incredibly stupid. And I think you need to acknowledge that, yeah, I kind of lost my head here, and I need to... Mm-hmm. I need to wake up and realize I'm her uncle, I'm an adult, okay. And I need to back off here. Okay. And I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to keep you out of trouble.
That's what I'm here for. Is your help.
I don't think
for Grace, and I hope we can move things forward to help her as well, to where she understands.
Well, I hope so. The family has been backstage watching with Grace and her older sister. Want to say, and we're going to hear what they want to say when they come back, and what I want to say to Bridget after the break. We'll be right back.
Unless someone has walked in my shoes, you don't know what you would do. I thought Kevin was a friend for her. Without him, she would just be going in a downward spiral.
And later, I was trying to put a pretty good spin on what you were doing with her until I heard her say the things that she just said, and having heard all of that, shame on you. The last time we saw Hollywood actor Nicholas Brendon, he walked off this stage in a huff.
Now, he's back.
Will he look me in the eye and answer my questions? We'll see. You were arrested just recently. You were drunk at the time.
That was inebriated, yeah.
Police say a woman told them Nicholas Brendon took her car keys and started choking her.
Did you obstruct her breathing?
No, I held her down to get the keys.
That's the 6th time that you've been arrested.
His downward spiral.
Police said you passed out, you had urinated on yourself.
When you wake up in jail, you're not sure why you're there. That's a very, very lonely feeling.
The voicemail he left a Dr. Phil producer.
I just need some help. I need... Please help me. Please help me.
What were you feeling at that moment?
Hopeless, probably. And afraid.
The reported suicide attempt.
Did you want to die that day?
I look at my life and I just think, how things could have been different,
Nicholas Brendon returns this November.
Okay, Bridget, what did you want to say?
Unless someone has walked in my shoes and tried to be the only parent for 3 children who lost their dad, you don't know what you would do. I thought Kevin was a friend for her. I walk on eggshells with Grace just to keep her alive, to keep her from that day to now. And he's been a friend to her. And I think without him, she would just be going in a downward spiral. And it looks like it looks really bad, I know. But if you knew him like I know him, you wouldn't think these things.
There are other children. Bridget's older daughter, Peyton, says her Uncle Kevin is overly affectionate with her 16-year-old sister and calls her pet names like Lovebug and Pookie. But Peyton says things really got weird when Grace tried to stop hanging out with her uncle, and he became angry and said, no, we can't stop hanging out just because people are saying things. I love you and you love me. So let's hear what Peyton has to say. Look at this.
Kevin has an unnatural relationship with Grace. He's not as close to anyone in the family like he is to her. I didn't think the relationship was weird at first, but then he started to come around too much. Grace told me that when the rumor started, she told Kevin that they shouldn't hang out as much anymore. Kevin got mad and started saying things like, we can't just stop hanging out because people are saying things, because I love you and you love me. That is really weird. And then on Valentine's Day, he got Grace 2 stuffed animals and chocolates. These are the 2 stuffed animals that Kevin got Grace, and he also got her this card. He only got his wife a coffee mug. I feel like a coffee mug is something you get your boss, not your wife. Kevin treats Grace like she's his wife, but she's his 16-year-old niece.
See, Peyton, thank you for joining us. You've been watching everything, so you're up to speed. What can you add to this conversation?
I think that things look a little different than how I've said them. I definitely think Grace needs Kevin. I don't think that it's inappropriate. I think the things that look weird are weird looking, but I don't think there's anything inappropriate going on.
My dad meant everything to me, and when he died, Kevin had stepped up, and if he wasn't here, I would be dead. I wouldn't be sitting in this chair right here doing this. And when she tries to make him seem like a monster, Tammy, it's not like that at all. It's him caring about me and making sure that I'm alive. Because if he wasn't here, I wouldn't be here either. And that's how it is. That is how I'm laying it out on the table. He has never harmed me. He has done nothing but make sure that I am healthy and boost my confidence. And since all of this has been going on, and he's not been around a lot, all I do is sit in my room and cry constantly, and wonder, what am I going to do when I wake up in the morning? Like, I don't even want to wake up in the morning. Like, so since he's been here and been helping me, he's what is keeping me alive.
I appreciate your sharing that. And as I said, I'm very sorry for your loss. And I think the grief process has some elements of depression and other things that have become intertwined with the grief itself. And so it's not just grief, and that sometimes suggests that some professional help would really benefit that person. And I think that's probably the case here. And with your permission, Mom, I would really like to arrange to get some help for your daughter to untangle all of that, evaluate it all and untangle it all, and get her the help. And you would avail yourself of that help, right? I have 2 rules in dealing with children that I really feel very, very strongly about. And one is that we never ask children to deal with adult issues. And second is we never burden children with things that they cannot control. Those are 2 things that I just think are really important. And right now, I would like to turn this discussion to some very adult family issues that don't involve a 16-year-old and shouldn't involve a 16-year-old. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to talk about some adult family issues, and then you can say what you want to say.
Okay, thank you.
We'll be right back. Having heard all of that, shame on you for fostering that kind of dependency from that child on you. Tammy says even though her sister Bridget recognizes a red flag, she still refuses to report to the police what they believe is inappropriate behavior on their brother-in-law Kevin's part with Bridget's 16-year-old daughter. Now, we just heard from this daughter. She spoke very directly and very eloquently about the fact that but for you, she would be dead today. And I was, trying to put a a pretty good spin on what you were doing with her until I heard her say the things that she just said, and having heard all of that, shame on you. Shame on you for fostering that kind of dependency from that child on you. I got to tell you, I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm sorry. I don't get it.
I don't understand what you're trying to say.
Well, you need to understand what I'm trying to say.
I wish you would help me understand.
Because if you're telling me that you've got this child here that is hanging on by her fingernails and is that vulnerable and is that close to being underwater and involved in self-harm and is saying, I am that close to going over the edge, and you're fostering the kind of relationship that you are describing and you are doing here, as opposed to getting her into professional help, professional care, involving. No. You need to listen to what I'm saying. You can get self-righteous and sanctimonious on your own time. You came to me for my opinion. You came to me for my opinion. You need to hear my opinion. Fostering that kind of codependency with a child that is that vulnerable and writing the kind of things you're writing is wrong, wrong, wrong. And if you're telling yourself what you're telling yourself, somebody needs to give you a wake-up call here. This is not a matter of whether I think he has taken liberties with your daughter in terms of molesting her or whatever, because frankly, I don't think he has. I've said that to you. I'm saying that now. This is so dysfunctional here. I cannot even begin to tell you how dysfunctional I think this situation is. And you say, oh, I've got these 3 kids and I've been through all of this and I don't know. That's why you're here. Do you want to know what I think's going wrong here?
Yeah. I know you're going to say it's me.
Jesus. Yeah, okay. Are you concerned about your daughter, or are you concerned about how you look?
I've never been concerned about how I look.
That's true.
That is true. You can ask anybody that knows me.
I'm asking you.
And I'm telling you. I don't care how I come across.
Your daughter is in a really vulnerable place here.
And I'm trying to help her every single day. While she's in Tennessee, while they're in Indiana, while she's in Cincinnati, in my house, I'm trying to keep her alive every day. And when you walk in these shoes, you'll know what it's like to be the only person.
Well, lady, when you walk in these shoes, you'll see bullshit when you see it. And what is going on in this relationship is not in your daughter's best interest. You need to not be struggling with that. You need to recognize that that is not in your daughter's best interest.
Grace would not have come on this stage and been able to speak to you like she did without Kevin boosting her confidence all the time. You have known us for 5 minutes.
Let's talk about what needs to happen going forward.
I thought maybe we could talk about me being a horrible parent some more.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. She can't stand her son-in-law.
He's disrespectful, calls me vulgar names.
Adam has trust issues with women.
Including the ones he's seeing while he's married to you?
That's tomorrow.
Let's talk about what needs to happen going forward, okay? Do you want to talk about that or do you not?
I thought maybe we could talk about me being a horrible parent some more.
I can play this back for you, and you can underline the parts where I've said you're a horrible parent. You won't find those.
In a condescending way, you've said it.
Okay. Didn't you just tell me you weren't concerned with how you come across?
You're making me seem like I don't want to help my daughter. I don't care if you hate my guts, but don't tell me I'm not trying to help my daughter. I am the only parent they have, and I'm going to fight for them. And I don't care how I look, but that's what I know, and that's what she knows, and that's what Grace knows, and that's what my sisters know.
I want to help you. I want to help you be a parent going forward. I want to help your daughter not be of such low self-esteem that she's harming herself. I want to help you be a parent to get your daughter's self-worth off the floor so she's not vulnerable to being exploited by anybody in any way. To do that, I have to help you. You're the only mother they've got, which means you got to take care of yourself because you can't give away what you don't have. And you're about to explode. You're so tired, you can't even sometimes figure out how you're going to get out the door another day and get back home. I get it. I get it. I understand that. I'm here to help you. But you got to wake up. You can't be in denial. I said, shame on him, when she sits there and says, I'd be dead but for him.
That's because she needs attention constantly, and he gives it to her because he loves her.
Well, sis, I'm sorry, but that's like giving an addict drugs.
I agree with that.
That's like giving an addict drugs. I'm sorry. And I'm reading letters he's written where he's saying, you know, thanks for giving me attention. Thanks for making me feel better about myself. Thanks for, he's in a codependent relationship with her, going back and forth and feeding on each other. That is not healthy with a 16-year-old child that is struggling to keep their nose above the waterline. That is not healthy to do with a vulnerable child. That is not healthy for an adult to do behind a closed bedroom door with a 16-year-old child. That is not healthy. Sorry, just not healthy. Shouldn't be happening. Should not be allowed to happen. Don't let that happen. She needs help. If he can be part of the solution, fine. If he's part of the problem, that's not okay. That is not okay. If she says, but for my 38-year-old uncle being involved with me at this level, I would be dead. Oh, my God. That is so sick, I can't even begin to tell you how dysfunctional that is.
I agree.
Then let's agree on that. Don't fight me. I'm pushing you up the hill. You don't want to fight me. You don't have to like me. I'm expendable. Cuss me all the way home, but take my help. So what you know is the man that is shepherding your daughter, the man that has kept your daughter alive, what we know about him is he's got incredibly bad judgment.
Do you need Dr. Phil's help? Text Phil to 88500 and share your story for a chance to appear on the show. Standard message and data rates may apply.
This is a man, however well-intended, has incredibly bad judgment in this situation. He has said himself, I don't use good words. I have bad judgment. According to the family, he sees her behind closed doors. He gave her a cell phone.
That's not
An old
true.
cell. What?
That's not true.
I never gave her a secret cell phone.
I'm just telling you what.
Okay.
Read the line. According to the family. I'm just telling you what the families told me. This is what Tammy said about the cell phone. Knew about self-harming and didn't disclose to the
that's
mother.
not true.
I'm telling you what the family has said.
Okay.
Helped Grace wash her sheets. Didn't disclose to the mother. Visited Grace when no one else is at home. Brought whipped cream to her bedroom. According to Grace, asked her to lick it off 2 times. You say you don't remember. Wrote an inappropriate letter. Brought her a pregnancy test. Didn't disclose to the mother. Allowed her to sleep in his bedroom without his wife present. Declared a 16-year-old girl his best friend at age 38. Involved children in adult issues. Let me tell you, bad judgment, bad judgment, bad judgment, bad judgment, bad judgment, bad judgment. I mean, just look at these things when you go along. These things, every single one of them. You talk about red flags. Mom, come on. What you don't know whether he has been sexually inappropriate with her. Personally, I don't think so. Right. I keep saying that because I hate for a guy to get railroaded just because he has poor judgment.
And we all agree he has poor judgment.
Yeah.
We've always said
Especially
that.
me. I especially agree with
Yeah.
that.
I mean, it's a terrible situation. It's a terrible situation when the good news is you've got bad judgment. But that's the good news, right? I mean,
Right.
because it means you haven't done something horrible. I told him I think that's a matter of timing. But bad judgment, bad judgment. So what you know is the man that is shepherding your daughter, the man that has kept your daughter alive, your sister alive, what we know about him is he's got incredibly bad judgment.
I have a big heart, Dr. Phil.
He has bad judgment in like a teenager way.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's very immature. Like, he wants to be...
So what is the final solution here? I'll be back if Bridget doesn't kill me at the break.
This November, the shocking stories that made headlines. A surrogate mom scam. She faked her pregnancies.
After 5 months, I'm told there is no baby.
How long do I have to be punished for this?
You destroyed our lives.
I am very in love with Kit Morris.
She's already married.
She wanted a divorce.
But obsessed with a country star.
He signed your back.
I got it tattooed.
You're serving your husband with a restraining order, and you've got "Marry Me, Kit Moore" painted on your window? What are you, 12?
They survived a house of horrors.
Locks on the refrigerator, blood splattered on a wall.
The children speak out for the first time.
You found some guns?
Yeah, we were gonna go inside and kill all of them.
This is the month
Did he kidnap your daughter?
He did. No.
where anything can happen.
She asked me to come get her.
You're lying.
I'm lying? Why don't you shut the hell up? I'm not gonna shut my mouth. If I didn't think I'd go to jail for it, I would go across this 3 feet of floor right here, and I'd take his damn head off.
Ready to get real? Go to drphil.com for advice on relationships, parenting, finances, and more. Plus, weigh in on your favorite episodes, share your stories, and find support in the Dr. Phil community. When you sign up for the community, you will automatically be subscribed to the Dr. Phil Show newsletter. Log on to drphil.com today. Bridget, you heard me say you're the only mother these girls have or will ever have. You need help. And then you have a situation like this crop up, and the fact that you don't want to believe it just makes you we get like functionally blind. We look at all of these red flags, all this inappropriate behavior, and you're like, gee, I don't know. Yes, you do. You just don't want to know. And it's not okay. You've denied it. Don't deny it. Wrong, bad, stops right now, this minute, no more, period, zip, zero, nada, no more. Now, here's what we described. Carrie says, well, he's got bad judgment like a teenager. He says, I don't know how to say things right. I don't recognize that these are... Is that the kind of person that we want being the steward for someone that is on the brink? Right. No, of course not. We need help. You need help. And we just need to admit that and acknowledge that. And we need to come up with and set up a plan for this family. You need help mentally, emotionally, physically. And let me tell you, I'm that guy that's going to make that happen for you. And it begins with you. And don't feel selfish about taking care of yourself. You need to take care of yourself. You need a break. There's an organization called OnSite. They are the worldwide leader in intensive workshops and treatment, specializing in emotional trauma, whatever it might be, and mental health issues. And we consider OnSite a trusted source for anybody that's struggling with trauma, self-worth, and esteem, and mental health issues. And OnSite, I tell you, this place is located on a beautiful ranch just outside of Nashville, Tennessee. And I've been talking with them about this family. And that's the first place I would like to start with you guys. And I know arrangements have to be made and things like that, and we're going to talk with you about that. But I really want you to have a break. I want you to let somebody take care of you for a while, and we'll talk about that backstage, okay? Okay. That's just a beginning, and then we're going to work on some stuff going forward. I think you guys are going to, you've got some nice things coming up in your life right now, trust me. I want to thank all of my guests today. I want you to log on to drphil.com, share your thoughts on our message boards. You can also find me on Facebook and Twitter using hashtag DrPhil and hashtag SuspiciousMom. We will see you next time. And if you're wondering, yes, we're going to get some help over on this side of the room as well, because I want there to be some real clear definitions about where these boundary lines should be. So we'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Okay. All right. Thank you for coming here. Thanks so much. Okay. Gary, thank you.
Thank you.